Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and, with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone.
Everybody, and almost Happy New Year. I want to thank Ken Quiethawk for his amazing intro, and you know where you can find him. He's at nativestorytellers.com. He and his wife have an amazing website. Please check it out. I did not expect so many people were going to be as prompt as a lot of you have been tonight. A lot of you were here before I was, just about. And Jeannie is really going to earn her money tonight, so it pays to be paid as well as she is, I guess. Seeing the response I got, I think I might even do this more than once a year, but we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to be doing the letter rip readings. That means, I'll just preface this whole thing for you, that I will give you what Spirit wants you to hear. And if after I'm done, if you have any questions about what I have said, I will happily answer them. But don't go looking for throwing in, how many puppies is my dog going to have, at the end of the reading or anything like that. Because if I've said something that you need clarification on, I will happily do it. So, that said, amazing, a lot of people here. So we've got Bren here. Hi, Bren. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Barbara, how are you? This is Bren from New York City here. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, to you too. So I have your cards all out here, and I guess I should say to everybody that this show is archived, so if you get a reading and you don't take notes fast enough or something like that, you can always go back into the archives and pick up the show and repeat it as many times as you want to. So your cards are indicating that this next year is going to be a spectacular year for you. It feels as though everything you initiate is going to come full circle for you. So this is going to be a good year for you to start projects, to make changes, to go in new directions, because whatever you put out there, the universe is going to get behind you and say, go, guy, go, because this is a great idea. You may not make a lot of money, but I tell you, you are going to have a good time this next year. It feels as though January is going to be a time where there's a lot of transmuted energy going on. So you may be up and down as far as energetics go. I don't feel that you're going to have any health problems, but I do feel that the element of energy is going to be a question for you in January especially. Once you get into the rest of the year, it feels like things balance out. But it does, I would caution you to not try to overwhelm yourself, because this is going to be a time where there's a lot of emotional changes and shifting that's going on inside of you, and it may tire you more than you would anticipate. So just be kind to yourself, get plenty of rest, take your vitamins, and roll up your sleeves, because the rest of the year is going to be phenomenal. February is a time here where you're creating new foundations. You're working in new directions. There's a feeling here that you are rebirthing yourself in many ways, and so putting on a new facade, working through a new philosophy, and so you're creating. It's almost like you are reinventing yourself, and there's a whole new genre that you're going to be moving into, and the foundation is going to be laid in and by the February time frame. March is a time where there's laughter, joy, and celebration. There's a lot going on here. It feels almost as though you're partying, and actually I would say you are. There's that element of celebrating, of having achieved some of the goals you set for yourself while you still have lots of other goals out there. This is a time where there's a lot of celebration going on. So I would say you're going to be giving parties and going to parties more so than you have in the past in this time period. As you hit April, there's a sense here of letting go of emotionalities. Lots of us carry, I don't want to say grudges, but we carry issues that we chew over again and again and again. If I had done this, then this. And the universe is saying, let go of all that. The past is the past. You can't change it. What you can impact is the present and the future. So you're going to be letting go of a lot of things that you've been holding on to for a long time. When you get into the May time frame, here's where that element of being creative, of a new part of you, sort of manifesting within reality. It feels like you're getting into your creativity and moving in new directions. And when that happens, everything breaks loose. Everything seems to flow more easily for you. And I do feel you recognizing the fact that your creativity is what's fueling the process. Of course, all of us recognize that, and then we forget it and then sit still for a while and then wonder why things have slowed down. This is a new part of yourself, a new creative interest, a new project of some sort that helps to make changes in your life. It looks very, very exciting. And as you hit June, you're pulling body, mind, and spirit together. You're refocusing yourself, and there's a stabilizing feeling here, as though you are putting yourself on sturdier ground to work from. And it does feel as though you've let go of a lot of burdens that you've been carrying. Almost feels as though there's some financial stuff going on here too that helps you to lessen the pressure that is on yourself. I don't feel it's like winning the lottery, but I wouldn't discourage you from buying a ticket, not 10 or 20 or 30, but a ticket. As you come into July, there's a sense here of a greater flow of energy around you. It's almost as though you feel like, I can almost hear you saying, I have arrived. Everything is flowing so nicely. Nothing's going wrong. And enjoy it, because we get those moments when everything does flow so that we can prepare for having to do a hustle of some sort or to rearrange things. So I'm not seeing problems, but I am seeing that July may be a very peaceful, wonderful time for you, and it feels as though as you move into August, what you're doing here is you're putting pieces together so that you're anticipating new directions. And I see you with a jigsaw puzzle, and I see you. Now, this is what I'm seeing, and it may apply to you in a different way, but I see you with a jigsaw puzzle, and I see you trying to make pieces fit that don't actually go together. And I see you pounding on the table and even considering getting out a pair of scissors to make a piece fit. I don't recommend it. So if you're working on an issue and trying to make things work and the pieces don't fit together, don't try to make something happen. Give yourself time, back off, and let the universe help you to understand what is the appropriate thing to happen in that particular part of your life. Do you understand?
Yes.
Brent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to just want to make sure that point was clear. Home looks like it's going through changes here in the September time frame. You may either think about moving or actually move, and it does feel as though there's the element of movement, the element of making changes. You may actually vacation someplace and think that that's a good place to move and start planning to move there also. It may be that kind of a flip of the coin. As you get into October, this is a time where you need to take care of yourself. You need to pamper yourself, and just sort of, gosh, I want to tell you to clean your closet out and take care of your drawers. It feels as though there's a lot of stuff that you've let go that you need to sort of put your house back in order, so to speak here. I'm not saying you're a slob. I'm just saying that things have gotten out of hand. as you get into November, there's duality here. 2 major projects that you're working on, and it does feel as though these are going to be major projects that are they are not something you know about now. They haven't even they aren't even a thought now, but this is the manifestation of creative endeavors inside that begin to be manifest, and they will actually manifest in 2021. But you have a very busy time ahead for you. So, any questions about what I've said?
Oh, no, that's great. You did December, right? I think you in November,
I did December.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any questions. I'm interested, and I will take your guidance in not trying to pound on a crossword, a puzzle with pieces that don't fit, and to see reality as it is, right, of the situation.
Right. And lots of times we don't have all the pieces for a reason. I mean,
right.
Sometimes it's because the cat ate a piece, but for the most part, it means that there is information you haven't got that you need in order to make things work.
Right. And it's not time to get that piece yet. It's like timing, I guess, right? Divine timing, or whatever.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I got to move on because there are a ton of people
here.
But thank you so much.
Happy New Year to you, Barbara. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Whew, let me tell you guys, having a hoarse voice doesn't help any, and I do apologize for that. But this, as all the seasons for me, is a pollen season, and it seems to have snuck in the house, even though I tried for it not to. So we've got Ellen here, I hope. Hi, Ellen. Are you there?
Yes. Happy New Year, Barbara.
To you, too. You guys were very, very quick on getting in. You took me seriously when I said call in quick.
Yes. Your readings are not to be missed.
I'll tell you something. You would be surprised at how many people there are here. Going to see just how many I can get done here. Okay, I've got your cards all out here. I would say that you are you have amazingly beautiful spiritual energy here. And it does feel as though this whole next year is going to be a time in which you receive, I don't want to say payback, but the whole year is going to be a time in which you are gifted for no reason. And the reason is because of something you have done in this lifetime or other lifetimes. You're going to feel like the golden child, because every time something is needed, it turns up, and in many cases, you don't have to do anything to get it. It's just there at your doorstep. I'm not saying $1 million, but I am saying that the universe is recognizing the amazing energy that you have given out to other people. And in many ways, I would say you are a gift to humanity, even though you tend to struggle sometimes, even though you tend to sometimes wonder if anybody is listening, watching, or taking note. Rest assured they are. I would say January is going to be a time in which the element of transmutation is here, and it feels as though there is an ascension process your spirit is going through, which is really quite phenomenal. And it does feel here as though, I want to tell you, well, energetically, have you been challenged lately?
Kind of, I guess, yes.
Okay. So as you get into January...
I'm sorry.
Well,
I was just going to say, within the last couple of weeks, it's been easier than it was earlier this year. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, as you come into January, you're going to find a number of things. You're probably going to see floaters in your eyes. You're probably going to feel tired more so than you anticipate you should, and you're going to feel as though you're never going to complete all the things you want to do on your list that you have all over the place. The floaters has to do with two things. It has to do with seeing into the fourth and fifth dimension, which is kind of like little fish swimming. But the other thing is when that happens, you probably also have a calcium deficiency, and eat a couple of Tums and it'll go away. Okay. It's just a way of spirit letting you know that that portals are opening up inside. So wisdom, consciousness, spirituality is all on an increase here, and it does feel as though, you're not going to put a white robe on and go to the mountaintop, but you are going to be seeing new levels and different aspects of everyone and everything around you, which should be very, very exciting for you. Also a little curious. Also, I would say you may find your balance out, so if you wear heels, please don't. Keep as low to the ground and as rooted as you can be, because your balance is going to be just a little bit off, not a lot, and if it worries you, check with your doctor, but they'll probably tell you there's nothing wrong. As you hit February time frame, here's a time of new beginnings. Here's a time of fresh starts. Here's a time when you begin to keep some of the promises you've made to yourself and enable you to move in new directions. I mentioned portals opening up inside of you, and that really gives you the opportunity to sort of cross into other dimensions, the wisdom that is hidden in the other dimensions. So I would highly recommend, journaling, writing things down as you come across them, playing with expanding yourself to a greater extent. You're extraordinarily spiritual. You've got a ton of gifts here, and you do use them a lot. I'm just saying it's going to be more intense, and you're going to use them more. As you get into the March time frame, there's a sense here of healing energy all around you. While I don't feel you necessarily needing the healing, I do feel you being a part of a healing process. So you may be letting go of stuff from past lifetimes. You may be creating a greater flow within your body of energy that lets you let go of toxicities easier. You're going to find that this element of healing is going to hit you in many different aspects, whether it's healing a relationship or healing your understanding of a philosophy or opening you up to greater understanding of philosophies that no longer apply to you. So it's going to be a very exciting time. As you hit the April time frame, I'm finding here a sense of joy, a sense of celebration. I'm finding it, you have done a great deal with your life to this point in time, but you have a lot more to do. And while it's overwhelming, you know that you wouldn't load yourself up with more than you can actually do. So that you are finding it amusing in many ways how you keep finding new things to put yourself into, new things to investigate. There's a curiosity here that is really most profound. What I find the most laughter about has to do with your ability to see the joy and the humor in situations that most people don't. Now, you're not going to be telling jokes at funerals or anything like that, but you're going to look at things through different eyes, through different perspectives. And in so doing, you're going to find that laughter is a better medicine than a lot of other things that a lot of people try. The more you can laugh, the healthier you get. And that truly is the case, so long as you are genuinely laughing. As you get to the May time frame, here's where a lot of your I can't tell if you're really religiously oriented, but what I'm seeing here is you are shifting to a greater understanding of the foundation that religion is into the cosmic of what the spiritual is. And there is a greater flow of one to the other so that you are looking at more of a cosmic consciousness here than the physical reality here on the earth plane. It looks fascinating, and it feels as though you're going to dive into a lot of books. It really looks fascinating. You may drive some people crazy in that you're going to read things that you want to share, and nobody understands what you're talking about. But that happens now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Sucks, actually. Anyhow, you can always call me. So as you get into June, there's this sense here of a new foundation. It feels as though you've turned a corner. You've gone in a new direction. First half of the year was basically getting yourself ready to move in new directions. Are you by any chance ordained?
No.
even if you at this moment don't have any thought of doing it, when it crops up, remember that I mentioned the priesthood of Melchizedek, because I think that would be something you'd be interested in. So and I don't see you necessarily in a pulpit, but I do feel that your life in many ways is a teaching experience for you to impact other people. So, the more information you have, the greater wisdom you have, the bigger the messages that you share with other people. As you come into the July timeframe, there's a duality here. It feels like you have two major projects you're working on, both of which would exhaust most people, but because you're having a good time, you're just energized by the whole thing. The summertime may be a time in which you find that you need less sleep than you do now. And it does feel as though you're running on like maybe 4 hours or so or less, and you have more energy than you ever thought you could possibly have. As you get into August, there's a sense here of, Mother Teresa comes up here, and I don't know why. I'll just flip that in there. Something about Mother Teresa may touch you or stir you or direct you. I don't see you taking the cloth either. So it does feel here, though, that the element of forgiveness is really important, and it's the first person that always needs to be forgiven is the self. And then, once you forgive yourself for some of the things that you've done, said, or experienced, then forgiveness kind of seeps out into other areas as well. I don't feel that you have horrible things here, but I do feel the element of forgiveness is very, very obvious here in the August time frame. And it may have something to do with someone who has, and hear this clearly, it may have something to do with someone who has already passed now.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing anybody pass.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you coming to a greater understanding of someone who has crossed over and letting go of some of the hurt that you may have held because of that. As you come into September, I do feel here lots of books. It's like, I love my term, you mugged a bookshop. It feels as though you're gathering material. And it's fascinating. I see you fascinated by books. I see you buying books, but only so you can remember what you already know. So, in some cases, if it's a good junk book, for heaven's sakes, enjoy it and pass it on. But this seems to be the kind of material that that you're collecting so that you can make better judgments and expand your own wisdom and knowledge. As you get into October, there is this element here of, of rebirthing yourself, of deciding that you're not going to wait for the New Year to celebrate New Year's. You do it in October, and it's a new beginning for you. And it's really kind of interesting because your home comes up here in November, and it feels as though you may decide to make changes to it or to move, or you may find that you're going to create some sort of a business or practice that you work out of the home for. Because your home is more than a place you sleep. Your home for you is a sanctuary. And it feels as though you do some creating in the home that actually helps to bring in more money. And as you hit December next year, please take your vitamins, because you're going to be so busy, it's going to be overwhelming. You're going to find that you're pushing yourself really, really hard. And the cool thing is, yes, you're pushing yourself, but it's not beyond your capacity to fulfill all the promises that you've made. It's just that you seem to have gotten very excited about saying, I'll help, I'll do it, don't worry, I'm there. And then you realize that you had to be in 3 places at the same time. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that, but I do think you're going to fulfill all your promises. And it's almost like you have new energy. It's like it almost feels like you've been given a new life.
Wow.
So do you have any questions?
Are you kidding? I'm just like ecstatic. This sounds just so wonderful. I have no questions except, gee, when does it start? That's all.
Tomorrow.
Yes. So I know you have a lot of callers, so I just want to say thank you so much for the wonderful message.
You're so welcome. And, you can always call me. you can contact me through my website. You can do all sorts of stuff. This is not the only time I do readings.
Thank you again, and happy New Year.
To you too. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I do want to mention that. I definitely still do readings. It's just that it's not on the website anymore. So anybody interested in getting readings can always contact me through the website. But these readings are quickies because I can hit a lot of people, and it's really exciting, and I can go a lot faster because you don't interrupt me, which is even cooler. Okay, let's see. We've got Nancy here. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
Hello, Barbara. I'm doing okay, I guess you can say, and Happy New Year. I always look forward to Let It Rip readings.
Well, when I was talking to Jeannie, I said, I don't know if anybody's going to be interested, but let's just do it for the fun of it. Oh. And we opened the switchboard, and she said, you might want to do this more than once a year.
There you go. Yes.
Well, if it's only once a year, people look forward to it, and if it's every week or whatever, then it becomes old hat. So this way, I'm guaranteed an audience, which is really kind of cool. Okay, so I've got your cards out here. I am so impressed by this because this next year is going to be a year in which you organize, you declutter, you put things in order, you reorder them. You're almost fanatical about putting things in order. And it's really kind of interesting. Not only are you doing it in the physical, but you're doing it on an emotional and spiritual level as well. So it's a time in which everything has a place, everything has a time. Now, that's not the way the world works really, but for you, especially this next year, that appears to be what your focus is going to be. It does feel as though January is going to be an exciting time for you. It feels as though a lot of things are coming to fruition. A lot of things you're finding answers to questions you put out there that you haven't been able to answer, and it's been annoying to you because you've been seeking information and you haven't been able to find what you're looking for. It feels as though, in many ways, the universe is laughing at you because that old aspect of patience seems to be rearing its ugly head, and you seem to be frustrated because you're ready to move ahead, and the universe is saying, slow down just a little bit. And it does feel as though the month of January is going to be a month in which, there is a lot of lightheartedness. It feels as though you're seeing amusement in a lot of situations that 10 years ago would have bothered you terribly. But now you're seeing there's a great deal of wit in how the universe sends its lessons to you. It's sort of like you can kind of argue with the universe and say, I think I'm done with that lesson, and then the reality is it's still there, so obviously you're not. But I do feel that you have a greater sense of joy in January than you've had in a very long time. It feels like you're just filling up with the laughter and the joy. And it does feel as though new people are coming into your life, and that there is a sense here of you expanding yourself and allowing yourself to enjoy things when they're fun instead of wondering, this is really wonderful, but when's it going to end? And the reality is, it doesn't have to end. It can always be joyful. When you come into the January time frame, there are foundations you're working on. It feels as though it may have to do with relatives, and it may have to do with job on some level, but relationship seems to be something here that you're working on very hard in the February time frame. It feels as though you're looking to create a smoother communication skill within all aspects of your life. And, we can all get better at it. We can all stretch ourselves and make a difference in other ways. It isn't that you're not a good communicator, it's that you're going to become a better one. There are new foundations for you to work from. It feels as though brick walls have come down. You have stopped. It's kind of interesting. It feels to me that in relationship, and I don't necessarily mean love relationship, I mean friend relationships and work relationships and just relationships in general, that you have put a wall around yourself, and I feel those walls coming down so that there's going to be better communication. And I do feel it very exciting for you. Not all at once, brick by brick, but it does feel as though there's a sense of a greater flow here. As you get into the March time frame, there's an initiation process. It feels like you've kind of crossed a finish line on some of the things that you've been working on within yourself, and that you're now moving into new directions of new material that you never thought that you would be getting involved in, and yet here you are. I do feel that you've paid dues on many different levels. I'd love to say we reach a point where we're done paying dues, but that's not the case. But it does feel as though you've reached a level where you're moving in new directions, and therefore the dues are going to be different. This is not a financial thing. This is emotional. Your finances look just fine. As you come into the April time frame, good unity of focus, focused on yourself and what you need to do for yourself, and the things that you want to change, expand upon, and maybe initiate. I'm feeling a sense of wanting to gather wisdom, of wanting to gather information. So you may actually even find topics that you want to not go back to school for, but look into yourself, assign yourself work. I know every now and then there's a topic I want to cover on the radio show, and I can't find an author to talk to me, so I gather the books and I read them, and then I become the expert. Of course, then everybody can criticize me. but I'm seeing you taking greater responsibility for yourself. And, if you always wanted to learn to play the tuba, for gosh sakes, go and play it. I don't think that's the case, but it's kind of like, this is not a time to say, I'll do it later, or I wanted to do this when I was younger, but I never got to it. This is a time to say, well, it's never too late. Let's go out and do it. Not a tuba, though. So anyhow, you're kind of allowing yourself to fill some of the blanks that have been left as you've grown to this point in time. And as you come into the May time frame, what you send out greatly returns to you greatly magnified. So if you're sending out any sort of mailing to people, you're going to find the result is tremendous. If you're sending out questions for information, you'll be overwhelmed by answers. Don't do Publishers Clearinghouse, though. That's one place where you won't win, unless you just want to do it. But what I'm seeing here is that whatever you put your energy into has a greater return than your expectations ever could have been. So it's a grand time for you to do this. It feels as though there are books involved, there is learning involved, there is study involved, but it's fun because you've done it for yourself. So, and it's funny because I don't feel that you necessarily loved school, but when you put yourself to school, it's so much more fun. So I see you having a wonderful, joyful time with this. As you hit the June time frame, there's a sense here of things are coming to you that you didn't realize you were missing, and it's it's not like you find a kitchen implement that just does everything. It feels as though you are finding things out about yourself, the qualities that you didn't know you had, that you do have, that you're going to expand upon. And you are finding people who have more in common with you than you realize. And I would say, please give everybody a chance, because sometimes you prejudge, and by doing that, you lose the opportunity to really meet some fabulous and incredible people and gather some amazing information. This June time frame is a very exciting time for you, because I see you being surprised and overwhelmed at the same time for the entire month. Books are all around you as you hit the July time frame. Got to take a drink here. July has you. It's interesting. You're looking for old books, and there are two sites I want to send you to. One is ABE Books. You can find any book there cheaper than Amazon is selling it on, and the other is Sacred Sites, which has phenomenal material on it that lots of people don't know about it, but it's out there. I'm finding that there's a sense here of a hunger for knowledge in areas that you didn't even know you were interested in, and at the moment I don't believe you even know you're interested in. So, they say that if you don't use it, you lose it, and it does feel to me as though you're dusting off the cobwebs and you're digging into material that has fascinated you for a long time, and you just kind of put things aside and forgot about them, and I see you picking them up and getting interested yet again. As you hit August, here's a wonderful time for you. By the way, I do believe there's travel here over the summertime. I'm seeing airplanes in a number of places here. So there is travel here for you. It feels like there's travel in the February-March time frame. There's travel again in the June-July time frame, and then again in the August-September time frame. This is not travel because someone is ill or a funeral or a wedding. This is travel that is either enjoyment or there's a reason commercially for you to do it, but there is travel here. So I would suggest you get new luggage, because from these cards it feels like you need new luggage. My biggest fear when I travel is my suitcase break open and all my dirty clothes are all over the turnstile, at which point I would walk away and not claim anything. But anyhow, there's travel here. And as you come to the August time frame, it does feel as though there's new directions for your life. It's almost like you're taking a new pathway, and it does feel very exciting for you. I almost want to say books, study, right? Have you ever considered writing a book? Because there's a book here.
I've been told by other people, yes, but no, not yet.
Well, it's still here. It's not going away. So as you get into September, we've got a lot of new people. You're meeting a lot of new people. I feel events that look to me like conventions or large gatherings, festivals, things like that. I don't feel them business oriented as much as other interest oriented, kind of like doing things like this for fun. But I do feel like you are going to be meeting a lot of very unusual, remarkable people who in some ways will help you to figure out new directions to go in, and in other ways will become very, very good friends. There's a lot of synchronicity and camaraderie here. It really looks like it's a lot of fun. October has you kind of admitting to yourself that there are some things that you haven't done that you want to do, and I'm not talking bucket list here. I'm talking, I don't know, belly dancing or, just silly things that you once wanted to do that you kind of put aside, and you don't have to belly dance. That was just a, suggestion. But it's sort of like if you are drawn to something, you no longer will say, no, I can't, I won't, I haven't. You'll say, let's give it a try. And you are going to be far more daring than you are right now, which is really kind of fun. And it does feel as though it opens up doors for you that, heck, you didn't even know were there. November has you, I almost feel you're like a chameleon when it comes to November. You seem to be able to fit into any kind of group of people, any kind of situation that you're put into. You absolutely blend into tremendously, and it's a remarkable gift. And it doesn't feel like you've been using it as much as you could. And it feels like as you, from the November time frame on, it does feel as though you're going to be more and more aware of how easily and how well you can flow into any group of any sort and speak intelligently and be listened to and given acknowledgement for the wisdom that you carry. As you come into the December time frame this time next year, great continuity of energy. Feels as though there have been massive changes in your life, and you feel busier than ever, and yet more energized than ever before. And it does feel as though you are kind of beginning a new phase of life that is going to be far more enjoyable and enlightening and exciting than the past has been. Do you have any questions now?
No, I just want to thank you so much. I'm going through a very challenging time in my life now, but it sounds like at the end of the year is going to be a lot better. And I always follow these readings, so I thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And like I said before, it will be an archive if you want to, download it and clip out yours. It's really easy to do.
I certainly will.
Okay, well, you have a great New Year.
You too. You too.
I plan on it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have no idea how much fun it is to have people call back and call back and call back. It's every now and then Jeannie and I talk about, I wonder what happened to this or with that person, or do you remember what you said and stuff like that. And always it's fascinating how you guys do come back again and again and again, which is a true joy. Okay, that was Ellen. So we're on to, okay, so my switchboard has hopped. Okay, so we're on to, I believe, Karen. Hope Jeannie yells at me. Hi, Karen. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here from Chicago. Thank you.
Well, hi. How are you doing?
Good. Ready for the new year.
Is this the first time you've been in here for one of these readings?
I think maybe many years ago I had one on the radio from you a long time ago.
Okay. So you saw the notice on Facebook. I'm trying to figuring where do people get the news,
I think the advertisement just on the scroll from the internet, from Blog Talk Regular. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm all for that. All righty. So I got your cards out here. My God, you've been working hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you have been. Wow. It appears this has been a challenging year for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Well, I got to tell you, it's definitely going to be worth your while. It feels here as though what you've been going through is kind of like shedding your skin, kind of like letting go of the past. And again, I think the word decluttering is very, very appropriate for what's going on here. It feels as though there's a sense of you learning a great deal about yourself, and in learning about yourself, you're enabling yourself to see things from a different perspective. I can tell you for sure that as we head into 2020, there is a sense here of a spiritual presence that is constantly around you.
Yes.
And what everybody, when I say that, lots of people misconstrue it. So let me see if I just really want you to understand, because it's really more fabulous than it sounds. You have worked very hard on yourself. You have opened that portal to be in touch and in tune with the spirit that you carry within. And because of that, there is an enlightenment that radiates from you that is profound. In many ways, you are, you are your own guardian angel, because you do have that link to cosmic consciousness, and you have that link so firmly connected that you are picking up on the information consciously, which is very rare. There is a sense here of understanding past lives, of understanding the quest your spirit is on, and the purpose of the lifetime that you're in, though not totally. But what I'm feeling here is that while you have been hoping for a guardian angel, you did not realize it was you because you had made that connection. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that said, with that spiritual energy flowing as freely as it does throughout your body and your life, it means that really cool, unusual stuff is going to happen, and some of it's going to be funny, but it's sort of as though you are, if you can get your mind, your head, out of trying to control or manipulate the direction you want to go in, and allow your spirit to create and then connect to the flow of spiritual energy that you have available to you, this could be a piece of cake year. And the only thing that will slow you down is you doubting in yourself. Because, of course, then doors slam and everybody gets nervous. But I don't see that happening. It does feel here as though there is a new flow of energy, that your consciousness, your ego, is fighting from time to time with the spirit, but it feels as though there's a greater synchronicity here, so that by trusting in what you know instead of thinking by what you should, you'll get further ahead. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So there's this duality as you hit the February time frame. There's this two-track idea, and it is a balance. It is the physical with the spiritual working in congress with one another. Bad word to say, agreement, but in this case it is. There is a parallel track between the two, and you're going to find that you are moving in several new directions, and by sitting back and paying attention and being aware of where the energy is drawing you and flowing in that direction. And I'm not saying quit your day job. I'm saying just in other aspects, pay attention to how you're being guided, because your spiritual energy is so profound here that it will manifest in coincidences and all sorts of things, and literally tell you when you're on the right track and when you're on the wrong track. And what I see right here now is the two tracks are parallel, and you're able to flow forward on the both of them. So it does feel as though it's going to be an amazingly adventurous journey, but it does feel as though there's not going to have to be work pushing and pulling and struggling. It feels as though there is a flow here that is really quite profound. As you move into the March time frame, there's money coming in above and beyond what you anticipate. And on top of that, there's abundance of spiritual energy. There's abundance of creative endeavors. Use that creativity to increase the flow of energy. The more creative you are that is not done for profit, the greater the amount of money you're going to find coming into you, which is really profoundly fascinating. You're actually a magnet when you stop thinking. And when you start thinking, you just, that door slams shut, and it's like, all right, do it on your own, see if we care. But the minute that you just stare in amazement as things unfold for you, and it will continue to do it so long as you don't try to analyze it. The abundance is it's definitely financial. It's on a physical level, but spiritual and emotional as well. And as you move into the April time frame, I feel you working with other people. I feel you sort of sharing some of your thoughts and philosophies. They'll go one of two ways. They'll either think you're crazy or that you're wonderful. There's no middle ground here. But it does feel as though there are 3 new people coming into your life that look very interesting. And it does feel as though in many ways they are all teachers but also students. So in sharing information and stuff like that, everybody benefits because everybody is both. There's a sense here as you move into the May time frame of is my pregnancy card, and I'm not seeing you pregnant. But pregnant with creativity. It's your birthing of a new aspect of yourself. It feels as though your home changes. It does feel as though you may find yourself either redecorating or shifting things. It feels almost as though you're working on a sanctuary of some sort.
My room, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just feels so exciting, and it feels you need to have. I'm seeing a window that gets morning sun. Is there one?
Yes, in my living room.
Okay, then pick up some solar chimes for the window.
Okay.
Solar chimes are chimes that they're solar operated, so they don't need to be by a breeze or anything, and they're very delicate. The energy that you have in your home is really profound, and it feels as though those little dings of the chimes would help to raise the vibration for you. There is this birthing of a new part of yourself that's very interesting. And again, journaling would be a very good idea for you. As you come into the June time frame, the important thing I have to tell you is that the only thing that stands in your way, the only thing that makes things difficult for you is you.
Okay.
You have occasional self-doubts, and you occasionally question things, and you analyze things, and when you go too far with it, you lose the moment. And I'm not saying be so spontaneous you jump out of the airplane without a parachute. I'm just saying go with the flow. And the flow is not a whitewater cascade. It's a flow. You do question yourself when you come here to the June time frame. I'm not sure what you're questioning yourself about, but again, that element of the only thing that stands in your way is you. So if it's not against the law or against your moral fiber, when you're asked to do something, say yes, even if it seems silly. You have been known to play too cautious. As you hit the July time frame, this is the time. July is the time where July is a time where you can make choices and not rely on other people to make choices for you. And I highly encourage you to not do any of the I don't know what do you want to do or I don't know where do you want to eat. Have an opinion. And when it comes to the July time frame especially, you have the ability to make choices for yourself that in the past you have allowed other people to make for you. Please step up and make your choices. You can't make wrong ones. It's the only problem would be if you don't, well, not making a choice is of course a choice, but you're in a time here where you're flowing so beautifully with all of this spiritual energy, it would be a shame not to take advantage of it and stretch your wings, literally. August has a sense here of rolling your sleeves up and getting to work. It does feel like you're working in new directions for yourself, for the people around you. It feels as though there's a sense here of travel as well. I feel that you may do some visiting that is unexpected, and you're going to have company you don't expect too. Are you currently in relationship?
Yes. I'm kind of like dating somebody new. We've been kind of off and on dating for about a year now.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at August, September, and I'm not sure. Just one person, right? You're sort of dating?
Right. My ex-boyfriend keeps trying to come back. That's correct.
Well, what I'm seeing here is, I'm not. I don't think it's him. I'm seeing two men in your life, and in the August-September time frame, I'm seeing you need to get new underwear.
Oh, okay.
So just take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
As you get into the September time frame, here's where I see Scorpio rising. Here's where I see just a whole rebirth of a new you. You may find that you change your hair radically, change your style, just change everything. It feels like this is a time where you're going to reinvent yourself, and you're really going to do it up royally. It's a spectacular change. It's not just a subtle change. You go right all out, and you make some major changes, which I think are all fabulous, to tell you the truth. As you hit the October time frame, there are new beginnings here. There are fresh starts here. It does look as though there is an aspect here of new directions. I do feel that now this is, and again, when I say new directions and new things that you're looking into, it's stuff that you don't at this moment in time even have an inkling of. It's all going to kind of start happening after the June time frame. But it does feel like there are major changes here, and you may feel as though maybe I'm going too far, but you can't possibly go too far. There's a sense here of spirit kind of playing with your energetic field, so that you're going to find strange things happening, batteries draining, lights going off when they shouldn't, that kind of thing. And it's not that you have spirits visiting you, it's that you are draining energy out of other things, and so therefore things won't work, and it won't last long. But it certainly, for the month of October, it may be a bit frustrating. I would say if you have a battery-operated watch, just don't wear a watch at all, or get one that you wind up. As you hit the November time frame, here's where again there's a surge of spiritual energy. There's a sense here of understanding that there is a spiritual direction that you haven't gone in yet, that you will go in, and it does feel as though there is a sense that you are going to incorporate more spiritual material into your everyday life. Again, that's not becoming a fanatic. It's just using those tools that come with a spiritual awareness in your everyday life to a greater degree than ever before. And the element of commitment is here in December. And commitment to change, commitment to new directions, commitment to new energies, commitment to all sorts of things. There may even be a commitment as far as relationship goes too. But the extent of the commitment is entirely up to you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
This sounds like a good year.
It's a very good year. I think you'll be challenged in a couple of places because there will be situations that you never thought you'd have to make decisions on or choices in, and you'll be inclined to want other people to make them for you. And I highly recommend that you don't do that. You make your own decisions, because that way, you'll know it comes from you. You can ask to be shown in a dream what direction to go in. There's lots of ways you can tap into that spiritual connection you've got, because it's fabulous. But for heaven's sakes, don't let other people make the choices for you, and always have an opinion, even if it doesn't seem to go, along with those people that you're with. I used to love to just take the opposite side of everything from my husband, because, among other things, it drove him crazy. But it was just so much fun to debate something, even if I didn't agree with it. It was kind of fun to see how he was going to try to change my mind. So it's a fun time for you, I promise you.
Thank you very much. And you're right. I've been wanting to get a makeover or something, but I haven't had the fun. So maybe when I really get down to do it, you're right about royal change, because I always look at that. I'm obsessed with that. So with the royals. So you're right about August and September, because I have someone that's trying to come back into my life, but I don't know. So I'm kind of I have to eventually make a decision, but I haven't made it yet. So,
well, the element
so
of commitment with you. So should be interesting, but it's your decision to make.
Yeah.
And really try not to ask other people what they think you should do, because all they can tell you is what they would do. So there's no way they can give you good advice about your life.
Okay.
Trust yourself. You've got a whole bunch of great stuff here, so just trust yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the new year. Thank you.
You should. I will. Listen, you can always call and let me know how it's going. You can contact me through my website.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Okie doke.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
It's kind of fun doing these kind of readings because usually there's dead silence when I'm done, and I'm really hoping they haven't fallen asleep, that something made sense to them. Okay. Another swig of my Coke here. I don't usually talk this much, actually. The cats kind of talk to me psychically, so I don't have to say anything to them. Okay, so we've got Terry here, I hope. Hi, Terry. You there?
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello?
Do you have the computer on or something?
I turned it off. Hold on. I had the radio. I turned everything off. I can hear you clear.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, you hear yourself talking, and then it's kind of like you stop because somebody's talking, and then you start talking, and they start talking. It can be quite a runaround. Okay, I got your cards out here. This is a time where I see you sowing seeds of all sorts. It's almost as though you're planting thoughts, you're planting ideas, you're planting wisdoms, you're sharing a lot of new information with yourself and with other people. And it does feel as though this is a time frame this next year where you are coming out of a shell to a certain extent in many different aspects of your life. And it looks as though you're sort of stepping out of the closet. And I don't mean sexually. I just mean you're stepping out of the closet and becoming more of a person than you were last year. There's going to be a new balance in January. You're going to find that things are a lot steadier, and so that you have a greater feeling of confidence in moving in new directions and doing new things with yourself, with other people, getting involved in new areas. It's almost like I almost want to say you're born again, but I don't think you're a fundamental Christian, but you do feel born again. You feel new and ready to stretch your wings, and there's a sense here of balancing life better. It's almost as though you've come to a point in time where you've grown up to the point where you understand a lot of things better, and therefore you have a new balance in your life, and that balance in your life opens you up to new directions and changes and things like that. As you get into February, there's a sense here of learning, and I feel the computer here. I feel a lot of learning going on. I feel you moving in new directions as far as getting involved in things that you've always wanted to play with but hadn't had the time or the energy or the courage to get into, because there's a new sense of courage here. It's really very, very, very profound. And it does feel as though you're opening your heart up to new people and allowing new people into your life. You're stretching yourself in very new and unusual ways, and it's a profound time for you. I'd say you're going to find yourself reading a lot of books or listening to them if you do the books on tape and stuff like that. But I feel you looking into new directions, and some of it has to do with healing. There's a lot of healing energy here too, as though you are involving yourself in a healing process of some sort and getting involved in it and expanding it and letting go of things that you've been holding on to that have been bothering you that you really can't do anything about. I do feel as though as you move into the March time frame, here's where creativity and communication come in, and it does feel as though you're getting involved in new forms of creativity, new ways of expressing yourself, new understanding of what creativity does for you in your life. I'm not talking about it being, a project or, where you're selling something. This is stuff you're creating just for yourself and for your own enjoyment. I do feel that writing is here, and it's here quite profoundly. So whether or not you're writing other people or you're writing for pleasure, but writing is here, and it's here quite strongly. So I would say I see you writing letters. It's people don't write letters anymore, but I'm seeing in the March time frame, I'm seeing you writing letters to people around you, talking about life and what they've meant to you. Every so often I will sit down and write my son a long letter about life in general and what he was like growing up and all sorts of things like that. And people don't save the emails, but the letters that are handwritten, they do save. There's an energy about them that freezes time, and it really is quite profound. So as you hit the March time frame, I'm seeing you writing letters. I'm seeing you getting involved in some creative processes that you haven't been involved in before, but it does feel as though there's a creative surge of energy here wanting to create stuff, whether it's drawing, knitting, writing, gardening, whatever. There is a need to be creative, and I do feel that you're going to answer it and experience it and apply yourself in many new and different exciting ways. And it does feel as though it opens the door for you to communicate better with everyone in your life, and it draws new people to you so that you have more people than you realized that you were going to be able to communicate with. It's really a very exciting time. As you hit the April time frame, there's a sense here of completing a lot of the things that you've started. It feels like you've started a lot of projects and you haven't finished them. And so this is going to be a time in which you either put things on the line to be finished or you get rid of them so that you can start more things that hopefully you will finish. It feels as though you have a lot of you had great initiatory energy with starting things, but there are a number of things here that never quite made it to the finish line. So they're either in closets or under the bed or in a box someplace. I'm not sure all that I'm looking at, but if it's a jigsaw puzzle that you never did, either do the jigsaw puzzle or get rid of it. If it's something that you were knitting or sewing or whatever, finish it or get rid of it. This is a time for you to have that element of completion, of fulfilling a promise made to yourself. And it's okay to not finish something. It's okay to not really care if you finish it or not. But if you don't hold on to it, you give it somewhere where somebody else can pick it up and finish it so they can enjoy it. Sometimes the creative process is just a healing process and you don't have to finish stuff. But if it served you well, then send it on to somebody else too. As you hit the May time frame, here's where I see many changes going on in your home and in you and around you. It does feel as though your home, that the place that you live, is going to go through some massive facelift. Not because a tree has fallen on your house or anything like that, but because you just feel the need for change. When I smell paint. I smell wood, sawdust. I see a lot of dust, so that could be drywall. It does feel as though there's a lot of work going on around you that you are privy to. And if you have allergies, make sure you wear some of those surgical masks so you don't breathe it in, because I see a lot of dust being raised, but I don't, and not because your place is dirty, but because you're cleaning and clearing out and you're doing all sorts of stuff like that. So the dust may get to you, but because there are massive changes going on within your home. As you hit the June time frame, there's a sense here of moving yourself in new directions, making choices that are more beneficial to you than the choices that you've made up to this point in time. We always have free will, but it does feel as though most people, say I have free will, I can do whatever I want, and that's true. But you also have to be responsible for whatever you cause. So there is a cost of free will, but it does feel here, as you get into the June time frame, that you're going to find yourself having to make choices in many directions, and it does feel as though you are a very thoughtful person and you're a very caring person, and it does feel as though you're going to spend a good long time choosing the directions and the choices that you're going to have to make. My only caution is listen to your heart more than your head and go with what your heart suggests, because that has a greater sense of warmth to it. And it does feel, again, that there are going to be some really cool choices that you have to make. Not bad ones, not upsetting ones. Just understand that you will have the choice, lots of different choices here, which is really kind of exciting. As you hit the July time frame, there's abundance here. There's a lot of new people coming into your life, and it does feel there's money coming in above and beyond what you anticipate. Again, not from a death or an inheritance or something like that, but there is abundance coming in. So just don't spend it all in one place.
Okay. I will be tipping you, don't worry. I'm going to give you a nice tip.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I can't really tell exactly, because this is just a single layer here of where it's coming from, but it does feel as though it's not hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's a nice chunk. And as you go into the August time frame, there are new beginnings and fresh starts. So it does feel as though you're able. It does feel that you're very sensible about this, which will probably frustrate many people. But you're very sensible about what I'm seeing you coming into, so that you're able to free up a greater aspect of your life, which is really very appropriate. As you get into August, there are certainly new directions you're going. You're moving into a greater understanding of the direction that you kind of want to go in, and so you're opening up those doors and those portals, in order to let the energy flow in those directions. September is a time where there is a sense here of you are being rewarded for actions taken and given in the past. You're being acknowledged for the kindnesses that you've done and the spiritual energy that you have shared and spread. And because of that, good fortune will follow you. That doesn't necessarily mean tons of money, but people doing nice and good things for you, people being generous to you, people helping you where you need helping. I mean, it's far more better. I almost said more gooder. It's far better than just having millions of dollars and not knowing what to do with it, because if you had millions of dollars, you'd spend your time worrying about what were you going to do with the millions of dollars, and so I don't see you having that problem. But it does feel here as though you're going to recognize that you are being gifted by Spirit, and again, it's always wise when you feel something special happening like that to write it down and let the universe know that you understand what's going on, because then it increases in volume and in frequency, which is really very, very exciting. October has at least three major things that are going on. Part there's travel here. At least one of the major things is travel. But there's also the element here of tapping into new resources around you that you didn't know were there. So that there's a body, mind, spirit connection here that is really quite profound. As you hit the November time frame, we've got here the element of rolling up your sleeves and getting to work on new projects. It's almost like you're trying to get a jump on the market, so to speak, and that's what I'm hearing, jump on the market, so that it feels as though you're trying to get ahead of other people. You're seeing an opening and you're rushing towards it, as opposed to being overly cautious. And I feel that it's a very exciting time for you, because you're going to be moving into new aspects of your life. You're going to be able to use a lot of the qualities and the tools that you haven't really reached into and used in a very long time, and it wakes up a part of you that is very, very ambitious, which is really neat. December has you taking a look around and wondering if you're doing the right thing and going in the right directions. Again, that old aspect of, Don't think too much and don't question too much. Just go with the flow and you'll be fine. It does feel as though you are paying attention to the whole picture, not just aspects, so that you're taking a look at life as we know it and the directions that you want to go in. I feel very strongly that where there may from time to time be there may be the aspect of slowing down, I will tell you that your life is only going to pick up and pace for the next 20 or 30 years. So you just better take those vitamin pills.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Whew.
Sounds good. Yes, I love it. It sounds excellent. Thank
you guys that are getting these readings, please, keep me posted, keep me honest, as things happen, during the months, you can always contact me through the website, and I want to know, because, I have a few people that keep me posted, which is really kind of fun, but I love to hear how things are going, or not going, for that matter, and if they're not going, then we can probably figure out why. So keep me posted.
Okay, I promise I will, and I will definitely call you back. I'm going to have to probably do you do one-on-one readings as well?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, I will be back sometime in 2020, okay? I promise.
I look forward to that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, thanks for the reading. I'm going to actually save this. I'm going to listen to it again in a little while once the show is over.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okie doke. I am talking as fast as I can here. Okay, so we've got Sharon here.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
I love these readings, but they do, after a while, make you quite breathless.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm from New York.
I'm a New Yorker too, actually. I don't live there now, but I born and bred, for sure.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Actually, I'm in Connecticut now, and I'm looking to move to Nashville, but I think I will always be a New Yorker at heart.
That's right. Once a New Yorker, I guess always a New Yorker.
Yeah, kind of like once a Marine, always a Marine.
There you go. True.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever not be a Yankee fan. Okay, so I have your cards out here. I'll take a little more caffeine here. It's really funny, I don't talk this fast this often, so only when I do the letter rip readings. Okay, so
wow.
I've got you out here, and it's really kind of interesting because it does feel that this next year is going to be a time in which you're focused on home, not just the house or apartment or wherever that you live, but your body as well. So home is going to be a focus one way or another, and it's going to eke into all aspects of your life and your reality. The physical house that you live in is going to be in need of attention. I'm not saying anything's falling apart, but I am saying that, you know how they say, if paint makes it what it ain't and stuff like that. It does feel as though there's a need to freshen up areas here of the area that you live in. And you can do that with paint, with curtains, with carpet, with all sorts of things. I'm not saying that you have to move. I'm just saying that there should be a greater amount of focusing on the surroundings that you are surrounding yourself in, whether it's colors, whether it's whatever it is. It feels as though you can make your home homier and more spiritually oriented. And as far as your physical body goes, I feel that this is going to be a year in which there is far more attention put into what you eat, how you eat, exercise, sleep, the whole thing, because your body is a temple theoretically. I laugh at that one, but actually it is. Your spirit rides in the vehicle, and you have to make sure that the vehicle is in good condition because you want to go the distance. You don't want to have to stop and have repairs along the way. So what I'm seeing here is that there's great attention to your physicality and the environment that you're in because you are very spiritually attuned. There's a lot of energy here. There's a lot of cool stuff going on the on the spiritual level, fourth and fifth and sixth dimensional level here. So you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with an atmosphere that will be conducive for you to absorb the material that's coming through you and incorporate it into that and who you are, so that it's an easier process. January is a time where you have the threshold card here, and that means understanding this and other dimensions to a far greater degree and ability. And in this case, you need to be your own teacher. There's not a class you can go to that's going to teach you this material. It's something that you basically write your own textbook for. And it's a matter of understanding that there is a greater sense of consciousness expanding here. And it does feel as though you feel it when you can feel things. You get goosebumps. You get those chills. You just get feelings and you just know things and you can't explain why or how. And you're going to find that happens more and more frequently as you get into the January time frame and for the entire year as well. It's going to be a recognition of the fact that on an energetic level, your consciousness has moved into a greater cosmic understanding, and because of that, your body becomes like a tuning fork. Pay attention to it. It's also, your body is also going to actually tell you what it needs, and it will never need as much sweet stuff as all of us wish, but there are times that it does. So pay attention to what your body is craving, not you intellectually craving, but what your body needs. And listen to it, because it feels to me as though there's a lot of attunement going on for you here, especially as you get into the January time frame. It feels as though you're becoming more and more and more aware of how you are radiating what you need and what you think and what you feel. So if you journal it down, if you write it down, and and write it down in a way that you can put it on the coffee table and anybody can pick it up and read it and not know what you're talking about. So it's not something that should be kept secret. It's just something that you should be aware of, and the more aware you are of it, the greater you enhance its ability to move and work within your life in your physical reality. As you get into the February time frame, there's a sense here of evolving into a greater understanding of a lot of the material that you've been thinking about. You have weird dreams, by the way, and it feels like there are messages being sent to you by your spirit, and it's a matter of, usually it's symbolic, and then you have to figure out what the symbol means. But you're evolving into a new understanding of how to utilize the talents and skills that you've carried through time. And you may even want to look into some past life stuff to see where a lot of this material came from that you have available to you now that you can use to enhance this reality as you move through it. As you get into the March time frame, here's where it's kind of neat. You're looking for balance and justice in all things. And on some levels, it may be just signing legal papers of some sort. But at this, and if it is legal papers, warranties on toasters are legal papers. I think it's a little more profound than that, but not a lot. But there's also the looking for balance and justice in your life and understanding where balance is and where justice is, and understanding that there is universal balance, but it doesn't always mean in the lifetime it occurs in. So quite often you will have greater gains in a lifetime because you're getting paid from an old account, so to speak. I'm feeling that this sense of balance and justice is going to be very profound here in the March time frame, and I do feel as though you are coming to a time where there's a greater understanding of balance and where it is, and sometimes there is balance where it doesn't look like there should be, but there is. And I do see you on a spiritual level beginning to understand that and be very comfortable with it and let go of things that you've maybe been holding on to a little too long. As you move into the April time frame, there's a sense here of new harmony within your life. I feel that there is a learning creative process that's going on here. If you do now do energy work, then it will intensify. If you've never done energy work, learning about it would be a great idea. I'm not saying become a practitioner if you're not already one, but if it's something that interests you, extend yourself into it to get whatever information you need to satisfy your curiosity. It does feel that the creative process is very, very much attached to the healing energies for some reason, and you may find yourself at some point keeping journals that may at one point in time turn into a book. It does feel as though you are a person who learns and then wants to express in a new and different way, which is a healthy way to do it. And it does feel as though you're moving into a time frame where this harmony of spirit is really very profound. You might also look into the solfeggio music. It's a kind of meditative, harmonious work that is really very incredible, and it does relate to different frequencies, to different aspects within your reality that would be very interesting for you to experiment with as you move into the May time frame. Crown chakra opens up to a far greater degree than ever before. I'm not going to say it's Kundalini rising because that would be very hackneyed, and it's not exactly that actually. But you have come to a point where you have balanced all of the chakras to a greater degree so that the crown opens up and allows universal energy to flow in new directions within you. You may find in the May time frame that there are headaches from time to time. Sleep them off. I don't feel there's a brain tumor here or anything like that. It's just your thinking process getting in the way of your ascendant process. And it does tend to do that from time to time. But it gives you the ability to look more cosmically at situations and aspects of life. So you're going to open yourself up to some very, very interesting new thought processes, actually. As you hit the June time frame, here you're letting go of a lot of stuff that you've kind of mulled over the past and you've just kind of shoved in the closet. I do feel you doing a lot of decluttering. I do feel you making a trip to Goodwill often to deposit stuff, or the equivalent of Goodwill. I do feel you getting rid of things that have been weighting you down, sort of like gifts that people who don't know you gave you and you've been dusting for 20 years, that kind of stuff. I do feel you sort of letting go of things that no longer have relevance to you as far as energetics. So do look for that time frame where you just have the need to throw the windows open and get rid of what you don't need or what doesn't serve you. Hold your treasures. No matter how strange they are, hold your treasures. But if it's something that you don't need and don't want, don't hold. As you get into the July time frame, 2 new directions you're going in, 2 new people coming into your life. These appear to be people who share the same philosophies. I'm not going to say that they're teachers or students. I'm going to say they're people that you can talk to and with, and they know what you're talking about, so that you can each gather whatever it is you need from whatever conversations you have. Cool people that I can't tell if they're male or female, but it doesn't really matter. They're people that you certainly relate to on a spiritual level, and so you're able to share information and kind of stretch yourselves. It feels like it's a lot of fun for you. There's the element of karma as you get here into August, and karma is energy, and it's neither good nor bad. But what I'm seeing here is that you've sort of laid the foundations in past lifetimes for new directions that you're going to be taking this lifetime. And this karma kind of opens the doors for those possibilities to occur in the August time frame. There's going to be a lot of things happening here that I would call coincidences, and there is no such thing as a coincidence. It feels as though this is stuff that's opening up for you, and please journal it down to increase the flow. As you get into September, September has magic and miracles, expect the unexpected. So September is going to be a time where no matter what you think is going to happen, something different is going to happen. And it's all very positive and it's all very exciting. This is a time where very exciting stuff happens to you. But it happens because you draw it to you energetically. You don't make it happen by manipulation. So it's a sense here of expect miracles because they're going to happen and they're going to be phenomenal. And the more you pay attention to the coincidences, the greater it increases the kind of magic and miracles that come to you in the September time frame. As you hit the October time frame, there's a sense here of you being busier than you've been in years. And it does feel as though you overwhelm yourself. You kind of commit to more things than are physically possible. And yet, I do feel that you actually achieve everything. And what happens here is that because you are working from love, with love, everything happens. And it's amazing. November has again things coming your way that you don't expect. It's compensation. It's compensation for kindness and for goodness and for thoughts and for deeds. And it is compensation. Obviously, there's money here too. So I feel that if you are in a job where you get a salary, that there's a good possibility that there will be a hefty bonus or raise here for you. I do feel that you are very accomplished and smarter than people give you credit for. And I do see you stepping, into the light and letting people know just how much you are capable of as you hit the December time frame. Here's where the element of love is, which is really kind of cool. This is universal love, so it isn't necessarily a one-on-one relationship type love, but it could be that too. It does feel as though you are at a place in time where you are sending so much love out there that love is returned to you in many different ways, in many different levels, in many different capacities. And I feel that this time next year is going to be a time in which you feel love on a level that you never imagined existed. So it's going to be a very, very exciting and incredible time for you. Okay?
Well, thank you so much. I just want to tell you for 1 second, I tuned into your show about 6 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and you told me that I had a past life as a model, and my picture was hanging up in the Louvre Museum in Paris. I visited the Louvre, and I'm going crazy trying to think, who was I? So it's just a little anecdote. I'm here somewhere. Where am I?
Yeah, and I bet you were only looking at people. I bet you were only looking at people who were clothed too.
Oh yeah, sure. Have a wonderful new year, a happy and a healthy and many blessings. Thank you so much.
To you as well. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Whoa, 6 years ago. Huh. Okay. So that was Sharon. So Jeannie screened a lot of you, so I'm doing my best here. So we've got Michelle here. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Barbara.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well and talking fast.
That's awesome.
I should have 4 or 5 hours tonight, except Blog Talk won't let me have that many.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Wow.
I'm not sure I could talk that long, actually.
Yes, no doubt. You definitely need a long break.
Well, I will get one I'm thinking seriously of maybe trying to do it tomorrow night to pick up on people that I didn't get to tonight, but we'll see.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure I'll make it, but we'll see. Okay, got your cards out here. It's really kind of neat. You're at a place here where I would say everybody has sort of rotating patterns in their lives. I routinely change my life almost every 10 years. Okay. This year coming up is the beginning of another phase, routine, cycle, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if it's an 8 or 10 year cycle, but you are at the beginning of a new cycle. You are creating
I just had my 45th birthday yesterday. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It was my 45th birthday. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So no, that's okay. So there is this sense here of you are creating new foundations here that you're going to be working on and from for at least the next decade, it feels like. And it's a very exciting time because it feels as though there was an internal decision made to make major changes here, and you're really going to do it. I know lots of times we make, New Year's resolutions, and we break them by the third day or the second. And but what you've got going on here are promises that you have made for yourself that definitely are going to be followed through on and built on for the next decade. So this year, please start a lot of new things because it means that the next 10 years will be full of really new and exciting things and dreams and stuff like that. Pick up a journal and make a list of a lot of the things that you want to really investigate, get into, or maybe actually do, whether it's writing a book or learning an instrument or learning a foreign language or becoming a sous chef or riding a horse or training a dog or, just overwhelm yourself with a lot of the different platforms that you would like to work on because over the next 10 years, that's what you're going to be working on and from. So pay close attention to, exactly, don't make it a short list because if you make it a short list, you will find that, you'll get bored, around the 7th year and just have to, redo things over and over again as opposed to getting your fingers in other bowls, so to speak. There's an aspect here as you come into January that you're setting yourself free. I feel that you're just out of jail for some reason, and I don't really think you actually were in jail, but I think an aspect of you was that you were holding yourself back or you were not doing things you wanted to do, but it feels as though you are, as you hit January, which is in 2 days, that it's a sense of I'm free, free at last, thank God, not that you're Martin Luther King, but so that it's a sense of you're free to explore, to learn, to grow, to begin a new aspect of life that is precious and wonderful. And the more things that you look into, the richer life is going to be for you on many different levels, including money. And I do feel that January is going to be a time where you sort of set the rhythm for the next decade. And so make sure there are lots of different notes in there. There are lots of different aspects that you can play with and get involved in and get in trouble with as you hit September, October. As you hit February, you're going to find that there is a sense here of, being kind to yourself and not judging. It's almost as though you're forgiving yourself for having fun, which I think is really kind of funny. I feel that you're going to have a richer, fuller time in life, especially, and it's kind of like at times you're going to feel guilty that you're having such a good time, and there's no way of, just don't wallow in it because there's no reason for you to feel guilty. February is a time where a lot of relationship stuff comes up, and it does feel as though you're kind of going through things and questioning and making judgments and stuff like that. And don't. You've got a future to look forward to. Don't try to. You can't change the past, but you can absolutely alter the future. So make some resolutions here, because I think that there's such a wonderful richness ahead for you. It's profoundly exciting. As you hit the March time frame, here's where I see you rolling up your sleeves. You're getting to work. You're working on yourself. You're working on life. You're working. It feels like for some reason March is an overwhelming time where you just feel you have to work at things, and it may be rearranging. It may be going through closets and reorganizing everybody and everything. I do feel that you're at a place in time here where there is almost nervous energy to constantly be in motion. And I guess it's a good thing, because I don't feel any health problems here, but it does feel as though, you're just driving yourself really hard. Pace yourself, please, because you've got a long time ahead of you. And you want to make sure you can catch your breath at the end of the whole trail here, but you got a long, long road ahead of you here. As you move into April, there's a sense here of home and making changes to home. It's almost as though you kind of are looking at either building your own home or rebuilding what you have there, or it just feels as though there's a sense here of home needs to be changed and shifted around a little bit, and you're looking around and you're saying, I have to brighten this space, I have to change it, I need another new feeling to home, and so I have to figure out how to create that, and that's all well and good. It does feel as though you have changed over the last X number of years, and it feels as though your environment doesn't now fit you as once it did. So you're gonna change your surroundings to fit the energy that is within you at this point in time. And as you move into the May time frame, here I see you letting go of a lot of things. I see you moving in new directions. I actually see, I hate to say this, I see exercise here. It feels as though there's really, you're committed to making some changes, and there's actually exercise here. And the reason I say I hate to say it is that I try never to say something I wouldn't do myself. And I'm not an exercise fanatic, although I have promises to myself. But there is this element of exercise and understanding that it keeps the body vigorous, it keeps the capillaries going. Look into magnetics too, magnetic bracelets, because it feels that it will help blood flow, it will help arthritis, it will help inflammation. And I can tell you exactly where to go. If you want to write me on my website, I'll give you the link to the kind of bracelet you need to get. They're not expensive, but they really do help. So just connect to me through the website, and I'll give you the link. It feels as though you're annoyed by twinges now and then. So you don't need to be. As you move into June, there's you're compensated for a lot of work that you've done. It feels as though you're moving into a time where you're looking for more fun things to do, and I feel that you're going to find them. There's money coming in above and beyond what you expect here as you get into the June time frame, and it does feel as though you're looking at good places to spend the time and the extra cash that you've got on hand. You may well be between May and July. There seems to be travel here, but I'm not exactly sure whether you've made up your mind where or when or how. But there is travel this next year, more so than you anticipate, and it does feel as though you're going to have a good time. You're compensated for gifts of time and spirit given. That means it will be given back to you in new and unusual ways. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those things come to fruition for you. July has you with new beginnings and fresh starts. It's almost as though you're starting. It's interesting. You're starting old projects over again to do better this time. So, and that's the phrase I'm getting. You're relearning old talents in new ways. Not sure what that alludes to, but it's very specific here. Fresh starts on old projects. This time they'll be completed and in a different and more unique way. So that's interesting. I see you doing classes, groups of people here, and as you hit the August time frame, there's crossing a threshold of understanding of this and other dimensions. You cross a threshold of into newness of energy, of spirituality, of every now and then we take workshops and we do all sorts of stuff and we say, okay, now I know it all, and then you discover that you're just back at square one. You don't know anything. That's what I'm feeling you hit here in the August time frame, which is really kind of fun. As you hit the September time frame, there's a sense here of lots of people around you, and it feels as though they're all of like-mindedness. So there's a sense here of gathering with people who think the same way you do. It's almost, I think there's a convention or a gathering of some sort, and you meet a lot of new people, some of whom have been old friends from past lives that will become new friends for this life. Laughter, Joy, and Celebration in the October time frame. October is a time where there's a lot going on. It does feel as though there's an essence here of celebration constantly. And it almost looks as though festivals, I see festivals of all sorts here. Renaissance festivals, too. Renaissance, just remember Renaissance. You probably had a lifetime in the Renaissance time frame, too. There's a sense here of remembering the past and finding a new way to preserve it for the future. Whether you're putting together cookbooks for generations to come or whatever you're doing, you're having a very good time, and it does feel as though you're surrounded by a lot of new people and old people, not old in age, but old friends. And as you hit the November time frame, here there's unity of focus. Here's where you take care of you. Here's where you check out and make sure that your surroundings do reflect on the outside what's on the inside of you. And if they don't, you make changes. And it does feel as though you always feel good when you're making changes because you know it shows you've grown. As you hit December of next year, you've evolved to a place where I do feel you have some avocations that could easily turn into money-making things. I do feel that there's writing here, and I do feel that you're going to write something that will get published at some point in time. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Barbara. Many blessings and Happy New Year.
To you, too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay. One more. Okay. See if we can get Susan in. I apologize for those of you that I'm not getting to, but I had no idea there would be such a large number of you. So we may try this again sometime soon, see if I can hit more of you. So we've got Susan. Hi, Susan.
Oh, great. I'm glad I got through. Yay. This is Suzanne, and thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, you're my last one for the evening, I'm afraid. I'm running out of time here. Yeah, you have no idea how many people are here. Okay, so you are at a point in time this year, this next year coming, where you have Scorpio rising that covers all the cards, which means that you're making massive changes in not only how you look, how you feel, how you address your reality. It's going to be almost like a year full of reinventing things, the way you deal with things, the way you understand things. It's how you are going to approach life is different. And every time you feel yourself saying, oh, this is a pattern I've had in the past. I'm not going to use that pattern. I'm going to invent a new one. And what's phenomenal is it reflects in every aspect of your life here. So there's an awareness that you are capable of massive change, and you're going to make that massive change and live by it. It looks profound. There's as you get into January, there's recognizing that there's a new flow of energy around you and within you, and you are going to absolutely stretch yourself into using that energy in new and different directions. Basically, I see you this entire next year understanding that when you're confronted with a situation or a conflict or whatever, you're going to say, I'm not going back into those old patterns. I'm going to create new ones. And then you may want to create even new ones after that. But it's saying to yourself, I want to be different. I want to be more spiritually oriented. I want to express myself in new and different ways, so that I will, it'll go from what you eat for breakfast and how you eat it to how you drive to work or home, or how you celebrate people's birthdays, and it's going to be so exciting for you, because it means that I'm getting out of the old patterns, I'm forming new ones, and if the new ones don't feel really like lots of fun, I'm going to do more. It's an energetic that I would recommend it for everybody. You happen to have the pattern for it already in front of you, so it will be much easier for you to do it than most people. So that there's a new continuity in your energetics and your life and your energy field. And as you come into the February time frame, there's a sense here of understanding that because you are changing how you approach your reality has to change into how it embraces you. And it's phenomenal, because it changes the way people treat you, the way you are accepted, the way that you are dealt with. It makes everybody wonder, are you possessed, or is this the real you? I mean, and I don't think they'll think you're crazy, but they will be aware of the fact that there is a shift in you that is profound, and that's a very exciting thing, because it means everybody has to pay attention to how they react to you, because you're reacting differently to them. So it's a very exciting time. It may catch some people unawares, but that's cool. It's healthy. As you move into the March time frame, there's a sense here that I see you doing research. I see you reading books. I see your heart chakra opening up and allowing healing to take place in places that it hasn't been able to open to in the past. So you're taking down a lot of the walls and protective walls that you've built up around yourself. As you come into the April time frame, here's where spotlight falls on you. Here's where people are actually paying attention to the fact that you've made changes, and the changes work for you beautifully. And it's almost like you're coming out of a shell, and people are paying greater attention to you, what you say it, and what you do, and how you touch their reality. So it's a very exciting time. As you come into the May time frame, you're sort of looking to the future here, and you're making sure you're setting things up. You're putting your ducks in a row, so to speak. You're doing things subtly, quietly, so that when it's time to manifest them, everything is there and in order and in place. It's going to make life look as though it's flowing very easily for you, and yet it's you've worked on it to the point where you make it look effortless, but you're putting the work in the subtle ways that other people don't see. So this has to do with how you manifest within your reality, how people perceive you, and how you're able to make changes that other people are amazed by. And I do feel that you're going to surprise a lot of people. As you move into the June time frame, there's a new balance here. I feel there's a new flow of energy here. I feel that in many cases you have hit your head against a brick wall, causing yourself headaches from time to time, I might add, but that I don't see you doing that now. If you're moving in a direction and it doesn't work, you just naturally go in a different direction, and it allows you to flow more easily through your life here. As you hit the July time frame, the element of reinventing yourself over and over again is very exciting. I feel that you're going to not fall into a rut anymore. Oftentimes flows turn into ruts, turn into places you can't get out of, and I think that has happened to you in the past, but it will not happen to you anymore. You feel, especially as you get into the July time frame, that there is a reinventing of yourself. There's an opening up to a lot of the possibilities and potentialities that are around you. And as you move into August, it's almost like you're going back to school and you're redoing things differently and you're expanding upon your awareness. There are 2 new projects here, 2 new people in your life coming in the August time frame that look to be very interesting. And as you hit the September time frame, the element of commitment is here. And it does feel as though you're changing your commitment to life, to the things that you enjoy doing, to your hobbies, to work, and the commitment you're making to different aspects and areas of your life is profound, which means that you are going to be far more successful than you have anticipated. As you hit November, there's a sense here of opening up and moving into new directions. And if something isn't working for you, shutting it down and moving on. You know, you oftentimes, you don't have to complete things. Sometimes the message was in just the learning potential that was there, and once you have learned what you need to learn, you don't need to finish sometimes. So there's a choice here as you get into the October time frame of understanding that if something isn't working, you can walk away from it and not feel guilty about it. As you move into the November time frame, here you've got magic and miracles. And it is expecting the unexpected, and it also has to do with you professionally. I feel that socially you're going to be very successful. Professionally, things are going to change in new directions for you that you hadn't expected. And as you move into December of next year, there's a sense here of you sitting down and really taking stock. You're kind of going to hibernate for a while in December and take a look at, you know, things you've accomplished, things that you didn't finish that you wanted to, and you're going to be absolutely fascinated by how much you have accomplished, how far you have gone, and how many lives you have touched, and what's really fascinating, how many people totally appreciate you and everything that you've done. You're a magical person, and this is going to be a phenomenal year for you. Yes, you're going to work, but it's all going to be so exciting because you've got everything flowing with you, and this sense of reinventing is very exciting. There's nothing that stops you from reinventing yourself in a heartbeat, and it does feel as though that's exactly what you're going to do. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Can I ask a real quick question?
Real quick.
Okay. I'm looking for a new job in January. Do you see that?
I didn't really, I wasn't looking for profession. I do know that next November there's massive change, so I can't tell. It isn't. I don't know that I can't give you a yes or a no because with the layout I've got here, that's not what I laid the cards out for. But I do know you're going to be very successful, and there is going to be reinventing all over the place. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much. I'm glad I got through. Thank you.
Me too. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
You too. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody. I do appreciate all of you who called in early, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to all of you. I think Ginny and I will probably do this from time to time, so check out the website, actually, and you'll be able to see when we've decided to do another letter rip night because this certainly has been absolutely successful. If you can help me out a little bit, on my website there's a link to the YouTube channel. If you could go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to it. Mark and I are trying to get to 600 before the new year, and we're short by about 8 people. So if you could help us, we would really appreciate that. And for those of you, you can always contact me through the website. I do private readings, so but we will be doing the letter rip readings again. This has been a lot of fun. I so appreciate all of you who tuned in and shared your time. And Jeannie and I will be back at a later date to hopefully catch up with some of you we missed out tonight. Happy New Year, everybody, and good night.